everyone, and welcome to Mindful Learning. And here are 8 amazing facts about love and relationships. Survival of the fittest. Let's start with the basics. Men's brains have evolved to excel at hunting, whether it's for prey or the perfect couch to watch the game on. They're wired to detach emotionally, which is great for when they're trying to take down a saber-toothed tiger, but not so great when it comes to discussing feelings. Meanwhile, women's brains have evolved to be the ultimate multitaskers, caretakers, and nurturers. They're great at handling a baby on one hip while cooking dinner and planning next week's schedule all at once. But now that we have washing machines, the need for that kind of multitasking isn't quite as necessary. Relationship experts are calling this an evolutionary mismatch. Basically, men and women's bodies and brains have evolved for vastly different environments than the ones we live in today, leaving women wanting more empathic dialogue from their partners, and men feeling attacked due to their inbuilt ability to detach that has served them so well over the centuries. Now that our environment has changed, our bodies and brains are still trying to catch up, and it can be confusing, and it can feel like a bit of a mismatch when trying to understand the opposite sex. For example, men are 4 times more likely to believe that sex and emotional intimacy are the same things. But on the other hand, there are studies that say men fall in love faster than women. So we see communication is key in any relationship. Talking freely about these confusing feelings of mismatch is the key to finding harmony in our relationships. Love is blind. Love is a tricky thing. It makes us feel all warm and fuzzy on the inside, but it also seems to make us blind to our partner's flaws. Scientists say that it's because love deactivates the part of our brain that's responsible for negative emotions like fear and judgment. This makes us see our partners through rose-tinted glasses and ignore any red flags that might pop up. There are 2 neural pathways in the brain, one for positive emotions and one for negative emotions. The positive one goes from the prefrontal cortex to the nucleus accumbens, and the negative one goes from the nucleus accumbens to the amygdala. But when we're in love, the negative pathway tends to switch off, so our brain is only focused on the good stuff. So if you're questioning whether your partner is too good to be true, it might be because your brain is in love mode and can't process negative information. It would seem that, neutrally speaking, love really is blind. Heart of a lion. This deactivation of the amygdala has a lot to answer for. Not only does it make you turn a blind eye to potential flaws in your mate, but it also makes us feel braver and more fearless. So basically, when we are in love, not only are we walking around with blinkers on, but we also feel like we can conquer the world and more likely to take risks and step out of our comfort zones. It's important to remember, though, that this reduction of activity in our amygdala is only a temporary effect. As the relationship progresses and becomes more stable, the activity in our amygdala starts returning to normal levels. But who needs logic and reasoning when you've got love, right? Picture perfect pain relief. Are you in love and looking for a natural painkiller? Look no further than a photo of your significant other. A recent study by Stanford University found that just looking at a picture of your loved one can reduce pain by an astounding 40%. The researchers scanned the brains of 15 college students who all claimed to be head over heels in love. They subjected the students to a heated probe on the palm of their hand, and then monitored their brain's response to pain. They looked at the brain's response under 3 different conditions: looking at a photo of an acquaintance, looking at a photo of their beloved, and a distracting task, which was to name sports that don't use balls. The results were incredible. Looking at a photo of a loved one reduced moderate pain by about 40% and severe pain by about 10 to 15%. So next time you're feeling the pain, forget the ibuprofen and pull out a photo of your significant other. It may not be the most conventional painkiller, but it's worth a shot, right? Cardiac coupling. A recent study found that when couples in long-term relationships are close to each other, their heart rhythms start to beat in sync. So, next time you're cuddling with your sweetheart, take a moment to listen to your heartbeats. They might just be singing the same tune. In one study, researchers tested the heart rate synchronicity of 32 couples while they did exercises like mimicking each other. The results showed that the couple hearts beat in much greater harmony compared to random pairs of strangers. This might be because our heart produces the strongest electromagnetic field in the body. According to the HeartMath Institute, this energy can radiate out up to 3 feet in all directions. So it's possible that we can pick up on our loved one's emotions through this field. Who knew that love could be so electric? What is love? No, I'm not referring to the 1993 hit single recorded by Eurodance artist Haddaway. but instead to the large amount of evidence suggesting that what we know as love might actually simply be a complex concoction of chemical messages created in the brain. According to anthropologist Helen Fisher, love is a three-ingredient recipe: lust, attraction, and attachment. And like any recipe, it's made up of some key ingredients that make it all come together. The key ingredients in this case are neurotransmitters. Lust is like the sugar in a cake. It makes us crave the opposite sex, and it's all thanks to the chemicals testosterone and estrogen. Attraction is like the flour. It's what holds the whole recipe together, and it's brought to you by a delicious blend of dopamine, norepinephrine, and serotonin. And finally, attachment is like the frosting. It makes everything look pretty and gives it that extra special touch. This is all because of oxytocin and vasopressin. Fatal attraction. So who knew that having broken heart can be more than just a metaphor? It's a real thing, and it has a name. It's called Takotsubo cardiomyopathy. In Japanese, Takotsubo means fishing pot for trapping octopus, because this is how the left ventricle of a patient diagnosed with this syndrome is left resembling. Typically brought on by acute emotional stress, it mimics acute coronary syndrome, and while it is reversible, it is still dangerous. So just be sure to keep an eye on your left ventricle, and if it starts to look like a fishing pot, head to the doctor to get it checked out immediately. In all seriousness, it's important to be aware of the potential physical effects of emotional strain, and to seek help if you're experiencing symptoms. One hell of a drug. So, what's the deal with love anyway? Get it anyway? Some scientists say that love is a lot like being addicted to a street drug. It's just as intense and hard to quit. Neuroscientists have been studying the brains of prairie voles, which are small rodents that stick with one partner for life. They found that the brain's reward circuits, the same ones that make us addicted to drugs like cocaine and heroin, also drive these voles to mate for life. And if this is true for voles, it's probably true for us humans too. This means that breaking up with someone we care about is a lot like going through withdrawal. A study even found that showing photos of an ex to people who have recently broken up activated the same areas of the brain as physical pain and cocaine addiction. No wonder it feels like a rough ride. Love is a complex thing, but one thing is for sure, it's one hell of a drug that we're all hooked on.